What is going on, everybody? I am making another YouTube video. This one's going to be about Apex Season 28. And I have not warmed up, so I'm probably going to miss some shots. But I just kind of wanted to talk about it, give my thoughts. Not that they really matter that much, but honestly, this season sucks. My biggest complaint, and I'm going to read these real quick. Okay, so the biggest reason why I think this season sucks, not only the ranked, but the fuse rework. You do not need to rework this man. You needed to buff him. I think he's actually been nerfed. I think he's a lot worse than he was before. There's no reason why he needs to be able to do this. Absolutely no reason. He's not a skirmisher. A speed boost upon like a knock or something. He's not one of these legends. He's not Octane. And I'm trying to think of like other legends. I think if they're gonna do something where they're gonna give a guy like an ability that is outside of his class for the most part, they should just add, like they should just get rid of all of these classes, right? They should put them all together, and they should give them, both classes in a sense, but maybe nerf the passive abilities, or like make it, when you drop, you have a little drop down menu and choose whether you want to be a skirmisher or you want to be an assault. So you can pick and choose whether you want assault bins or you want to be able to have whatever skirmisher perks there is. I don't know what the skirmisher perks are. Let's see. Revealing care packages. Allies get a speed boost if they're running towards you at long distances. Gains health. See, you should be able to pick. Where if he picks an assault, he can have. See, okay, if you break shields, you get a speed increase. Alright. You could increase that, maybe buff it from what I said earlier. You get this perk and this perk. So you can either pick which perk you want. And if he's this perk, he gets, he gets to pick these along with, keeping his little jump attack. His ult, I'm not a fan of. His last ult, you could, he was able to just hold people and have so much control over the field and still keep his identity of a assault legend. So I'm just not a fan, and I don't think I'll ever be a fan. I've played Fuse quite a bit in my gaming career, and I think this is one of the worst reworks I've ever seen. Revenant. I miss the old Revenant. I understand he was hard to balance, but tough. The Fuse rework I don't think was asked. I would rather have a new legend with his ult ability. Let's get into Bloodhound. Just kind of some buffs. Nothing insane. To be honest, I say, he's not gonna be the greatest always, but maybe just another buff. One of the suggestions I had for like maybe Fuse, an idea is you pick up a nade, right, and it's clear, you don't see nothing, right? You see the little red indicator, this is white to the red. Have Fuse have a thing where like, if it's gonna be really close to him, that indicator is green, right? So it would be green right here. If it lands like over here where it does about half, it's yellow. If it's not going to hit anybody, have it be red. And that adds such a fragging element to it that makes him super unique. I mean, his whole thing is being able to launch grenades, right? Like, that's one of his passives. Why not make his passive stronger to make, you know, him played more? I think that would be a great addition, and it would help people kind of learn how to use nades a little more, right? You know, I'd like to hear you guys' opinion on that. I think it would be a great idea for Fuse. Bloodhound, I think he just, I mean, that's a pretty good distance. I think you got a small enough his hitbox a little bit.
I am
Ultimate, I haven't used it a lot, but
there are Unscotty to be found.
I don't know, maybe, I know I can't scan that much. I think there's one point you would be able to scan. I don't remember. I think you used to be able to scan like quite a few times, like while he was in the Beast of the Hunt. It was every like 5 seconds or something like that. It was something crazy. They ended up nerfing it. This was early season, by the way, so that's why I don't really remember it that much. But bringing something like that back in today's meta would make him pretty good, I think, and I think he'd get played a little more. Catalyst, I think they did a great job with the idea of just flipping the orientation. One of my biggest complaints was the deploy time takes forever, and one thing I've been able to do is, obviously I got wall hacks here, but usually you got somebody pretty low and you throw that up, you can still shoot people through. Do a good amount of damage. Having that damage reduction is really nice. Having it, you know, deploy this way, I think makes it extremely useful. Spikes doing more damage is really nice. Doing anything to this guy. I think that's great. Having it go invisible is interesting, but I also like that idea because, you know, it's just another element to the game. Allows you to control. They might regret, you know, moving in or pushing you. Let's say your teammate gets knocked, you know, rethink it. So that's all right. And let's see here. I would say my biggest complaint, though, shotgun's good, right? I don't have any problems with the shotguns. Biggest complaint, where's that? Keep them in the care package. Let's have 4 care package guns. All right. The P20s were better off in the care package. There's no reason they needed to leave. They're too accurate. If you're gonna keep them out of the care package, make them less accurate. No reason they should be this accurate. Well, I've got a golden laser on, but too accurate. Get rid of the hammer points. They don't need the hammer point round. If you're gonna at least keep the accuracy, get rid of the hammer points, right? Or at least get rid of hammer points and nerf the accuracy a little bit. It's just alright, I'm not a fan whatsoever. And I'll never be a fan. The G7, I think it's pretty powerful, right? You can kill people in seconds. Really good when you hit all headshots, which I'm not going to be able to do because my ADS sense is really low. That's why you'll see me flick. I'm trying to get better at flicking. And then making the micro adjustments. G7 is pretty powerful, right? I'm not sure. I probably won't be having it on a double tap just because I don't like. I've been without the double tap for so long that I feel like I have way more control without it. Shotgun's getting a buff. I like. Still not a huge fan of the EVA 8. I also haven't really used it with double tap. The Mastiff is pretty good. I was having great success with it when I played a couple of games or ranked. I think it was hitting people for like 90-ish. You know, I think that's pretty powerful. Eva, I still don't think it's as good as like the Mozams. Let's say, you know, the Mozams are amazing and probably my go-to of guns right now. PK, letting it get the disruptor rounds. I mean, I feel like the only reason why they did anything to the PK is because they released the mythic skin for it. I didn't really think it needed anything too crazy. You know, if you get the disruptor rounds, right, you can 2-tap people. I think a shotgun should not be able to kill somebody in nothing less than 3 hits. That's my opinion, especially if it's on the ground. If it was in the care package, 2 hits, fine. I wouldn't be mad if it did Kraber damage, right? Hit somebody, PK of course, like, or if you hit them a full body shot and it did 150, I'd be perfectly okay with that. You know, by that time people will have blue shields, hopefully, right? Maybe not in ranked because half the teams are going to be dead already, over half the teams by the time the first care package falls. But you know, these are just some things that I think this game should either fix or make changes. My thoughts, my opinion. Octane, one thing I've been complaining about Octane is the damage reduction with fortified. It annoys me a lot. What annoys me about it is just, you know, if if I don't get a 1-up on an Octane and he does that, right, he's gonna take a little bit of damage, but I think he's gonna be able to kill me a lot faster than I'm gonna be able to kill him. So if he, right, stints, he can beam me and knock me before I can kill him, because my bullets will do less damage than his bullets, right? Unless I'm a fortified character as well, which I typically don't play fortified characters. Legend who I think could use a buff. I'd like to see a Gibby buff.
They'll never shoot through this.
If all these legends are going to be really crazy. These are actually pretty good. You know, I think he could use a slight buff. I would say, I don't know. I feel like I don't see Gibbies in ranked. I think he's pretty balanced though. I'd like to see him get buffed a little bit. I'd like to see him back in games. These legends kind of got recently buffed. Ashe, I think she should be able to have her dash back, double dash and all that. I didn't think it was that crazy.
These ties bind.
Let's see.
Caught like a rat
Pat
in a
needs
trap.
a buff. Ooh, that broke. I think Pathy needs a little bit of a buff. Just a second or two cooldown. Knocked off of his grapple. Wraith. I could see somebody. I think she's actually pretty balanced as far as like the wind up, right? That's pretty fast. Like, you're gonna buff her, just make that a little bit faster by a couple like microseconds, right? Ballistic. I think Ballistic's in an alright spot.
We have a few.
honestly, I don't really have anything to say about Ballistic. I did play in the meta where the team got speed boost, and it was like a Alter or Ashe, and then Ballistic, maybe a Lifeline. It was not a fun meta when you're getting ran down by these guys, but you know, that's what it is. Revenant. Bring back an old Rev, or I'd like to see 2 Revenant Legends, one with his old abilities, maybe slightly better. Move this Rev in the Skirmisher, and then that different Rev into a attack role. You know, being able to silence enemies with this ball, and having that, you know, ultimate where you can just, you know, do a bunch of damage, get reset, and choose whether you want to fight or not. You know what I mean? I think that's insanely good. Finally, I'll talk about dropships. I'm gonna be honest. I thought the dropships returning, I thought it'd be pretty good for like lower levels, and I kind of did miss having the pick, getting the pick wherever I wanted to go for ranked. Even what I thought, right? What I don't like is, you know, people don't take the game as seriously as like some rank grinders, right? I think rank should be as close to Pro League as possible. It should be hard. It should be difficult. There shouldn't be many people stuck in Diamond 4. There shouldn't be many people stuck in Plat 1. You know, I think it should be hard to get up in the ranks. I think, you know, it'll be easier when the cheating problem is, you know, controlled, because I guarantee you there's at least minimum 3 people who have a Cronus, Titan, whatever you want to call it, plugged in on console, and most likely PC too. It is a huge problem, and it's so easy to buy for people that, you know, it's just something that people have now. It's like they think, well, everybody else uses it, and it's really ruining the game. All right, I think when those people have to actually get good at the game, I think people who treat games, and if they ever actually fix ranked, and people who treat it like it's Pro League, I think those people are going to have a lot of success. It teaches you a lot about the game, and you know, you have pubs for pubs when you want to pub stomp, and you have ranked for whenever you want to feel like you're in Pro League. And dropship thing, I'm in gold 2, and I know it's only gold, and there's a lot of people in plat and diamond, I'm sure masters already, but you know, I've got a life, so I'm not grinding like that. And lost train of thought, but you know, people are just hot dropping instantly. They're egoing everything, and you know, people I'm playing against are you know, multi previous years masters, and my teammates are haven't even hit diamond or anything. Like, matchmaking's a problem for sure. And then you have you know, don't have brains to go into the game. You gotta deal with it. Sure, you gotta play it smart. You gotta be able to deal with bad games. But if matchmaking was improved, cheaters were taken out, and you know, ranked was good, I think this game would flourish. Whether for ranked or just overall, like, player base. I mean, ranked has been something that they've been trying to figure out for 7 years now, and I know I probably sound like every other pro or every other player, you know, but it's true. I mean, I like wildcard. The only thing I don't like about wildcard or just freaking dodge me, is the badge thing. It makes badges less valuable, especially if, you know, I just think they bring less value to the game, so I'd like to see a wildcard badge separate from a pubs badge / ranked, right? But they just need to listen to, you know, ranked is one of those things where, like, you kind of have to listen to the pros. You don't have to listen to them for, like, some legends or, you know, things like that. But, like, the way ranked should be, they're the ones that play competitively. They know they know how to play the game more than, I would say, the Apex team, and it kind of seems like that they don't play test anything. I know they're going on the stats where, like, their excuse was, oh, we had more of a player base. Okay. Like, what else contributed to that? Was it wildcard? Was there even drop shit when the wildcard first came out? Or, you know, like, there's got to be more deciding factors, because the whole drop zones didn't take anything away from the game. It actually was a great change that encouraged many more people that I know of to play the game, right? But I don't know. These are just some of my thoughts. Love to hear from you guys what your guys' thoughts are. Probably gonna end the video here. So I know there's not a lot going on. You're just kind of listening to me yap, but, you know, just kind of where I think the game, how the game can get better. I think the state of the game is a lot better than it was quite a few seasons ago. They just, you know, ranked needs to have a total rehaul, and, you know, just I like these little legend buffs that make them, except Fuse. Fuse is, you know, that was unnecessary. Just buff them, right? Do something a little more unique. I really don't like the Fuse rework. But other than that, like, just listen to the pros for ranked, and, you know, listen to your community as much as you say you do. It doesn't really seem like it sometimes. I think, like, just the little buffs, like Octane get rid of this stem that gives him fortified. Just give him a double stem where the second one he doesn't take damage, right? The, like, jump pad upgrade, crazy good. My opinion, crazy good. But yeah, so those are my thoughts where I think the state of the game is. Not that many of you will probably even care, right? But thank you for watching if you are still even here. Yeah. Please like and subscribe. It's free. This is Otto, and I am out.